6.4, factoring by using the AC method. So in our general equation, ax squared plus bx plus c, the coefficient of the a squared term is our a, the coefficient of the x term is our b, and the constant is our c. So in this example, 2x squared plus 5x plus 3, notice in the other factoring we did, there was no coefficient in front of the x squared term. Now we have a coefficient in front, so we have to change the method and go to the AC method. So the A is 2, the B is 5, and the C is 3. So 2 times the 3 is 6. The B factor is 5. So we're looking for two factors of the 6, which add up to 5. So two factors of 6 that add up to 5 are 2 and 3. So now we're going to use the 2 and the 3 to combine the x's. So we're going to have 2x plus 3x. So you notice all we've done is take the x term and divide it into two separate terms that combine to be 5x squared. So here, the 2x we're going to put with the 2x squared, and the 3 we're going to put with the 3 as the constant. So we're going to end up with 4 terms, which is always going to mean grouping. So you have to choose which of these two terms here to put with the x squared term and the constant. So we put the 2x here because we have a 2 and a 2. We put the 3x here because we have 3 and 3. So you want to look for common or multiple that are of each other. So then we factor each of these separately. So here we can take a 2 out for the number, and they each have a variable, so we can take the lowest power of the variable, x, and then in parentheses goes what is left after we take a 2x out of 2x squared, we end up with x. We take a 2x or divide by 2x, and we get 1. So that was our first set. Now we factor the second set. So we can divide each of these by 3. So we're left with, in parentheses, when we do that, x plus 1. When you do this correctly, you're going to have a common factor in each parentheses. So what we do then is take out the common factor. So when we take the x plus 1 out of the first set, we're left with 2x. And when we take the x plus 1 out of the second set, we're left with positive 3. So to review, you're going to take the a times the c, and then you're going to look at that value and determine two factors of it that add up to the middle term. Then you're going to put those two into the original polynomial so that you can factor the first two and the second two. When you factor those, you're going to get a common parentheses. If you did it correctly, if you didn't, then you need to regroup what you did in the previous step. So then you factor that common parentheses out. And when you do that, what's left goes in the second parentheses, and there's no plus or minus sign between these. We're going to do a few more of these to make sure you get the idea. So this is our A term, that is our C term, and this is our B term. So A times C here is 30. So we need to look at two factors of 30. In other words, two numbers that multiplied give us 30, and when added give us negative 17. So we can have negative 10 and negative 3, but they add up to negative 13, so that doesn't work. So there are lots of factors of numbers, but they have to combine to be our B value. So that is negative 15 and negative 2. Okay, and those are A's. So we're going to substitute those two for our middle term. And we want to put the 2 with the 6 and the negative 15 with the 5, because 5 is a multiple of 15 and the 2 is a multiple of 6. So then we factor that. Here we can take a 2 out of each, and we can take an A out of each. When we do that, we're left with 3A here and minus 1. So in our next set, we can take a negative 5 out. So here, we've taken the negative 5 out. What's left goes into parentheses. We have 3A minus 1. So again, these have to be the same if we did it correctly. So then we take those like parentheses out, and what's left goes in the second set of parentheses. Another one, take the A times the C, is negative 18. This is our B, negative 7. So two factors of negative 18 that add up to negative 7 are negative 9 and positive 2. So we have negative 9y and positive 2y. We're going to put the 9 with the 3 because it's a multiple, and the 2y with the 6. So we're going to have 3y squared minus 9y plus 2y minus 6. Then we're going to factor the first two, and we would get 3 for the number, and we can take a y out of each of these. And in parentheses will be my y minus 3. Here we can take a 2 out of each. So then we have the common y minus 3 parentheses. We take that out. What's left goes in the second parentheses. So in each of these cases, if you were to FOIL this back, you would get the original problem. I'm going to do one more here because it's a little bit unique. We have our A, our B value, and our C. So 3 times the negative 1 is negative 3. And that's our AC value. Then our B is negative 2. So these two factors then will have to be, the only factors of 3 are 3 and 1. So it's a negative 3 and a positive 1. And these are our x's. So we're going to put the 3, negative 3x with the 3x squared. And we're going to put the plus 1x with the negative 1. So now we have our 4, which always means grouping. So here we can take a 3x out each, 3 for the number and x for our variable. We're going to have 3x times x minus 1. Here, we got 1 and 1, so it looks like, what can we take out of that? Well, the x minus 1 is the same as what we have here, so we're going to take a plus 1 out of it. Remember, you have to take something out of both sets. Now, we can take our common x minus 1. What's left is 3x for the first one, and plus 1 for the second. Remember, you can always check by foiling this back and see if you get the original polynomial.